With it being days that I have now put into Grazon Warfare's latest major update, Update 0.3 Winds of War, despite my initial thoughts and opinions about this update being overwhelmingly positive, which still is the case, I think this is the best update and levels up Grazon Warfare in a major way. There are still some things that poked its head out as I kept playing more, and I think if these things are changed or some of the things that I suggest are implemented, it will make the game a much more enjoyable and better experience. Before we get into the video, I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers, and I want to say a massive thanks to all of the new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining the channel. We are now over 800 subs, getting very close to our goal of 1000 subs. So if you are new or you haven't subbed yet, but you do watch the videos, please consider hitting that subscribe button, and I will appreciate you tremendously. Now, let's get into the video. Update 0.3 Winds of War has been generally received by the majority of the people that tried it and content creators in a very positive way. After all, it is a very solid update. Honestly, it is pretty much 10 out of 10. The update hit on everything that the community wanted from Madfinger Games, such as improved performance, even though it was not on the plan and wasn't supposed to be happening. I want to make sure to point that out, as I failed to mention this in all of my previous videos. All of you remember, you do not have to go to your main base to take or complete quests. You can do them as you go in the world wherever you are. Apart from that, we got new gear and guns. Of course, we got the brand new weather, and the thing that people wanted the most and above all else, PvP gameplay loops in form of the outposts that are honestly very fun, with only requiring some minor tweaks to make them pretty much perfect. Generally, the update itself is huge and it's really good. When it comes to my personal list of what I think needs to be improved or changed or implemented into the game, it is honestly not very long at all. This isn't in any specific order at all. Starting off with nighttime. Nighttime needs to be way darker than it is right now. Night vision is such a cool thing in Grazon Warfare and how they've made it and represented it in a very realistic manner. But unfortunately, right now, at least for me, night vision is useless, because wearing night vision makes visibility way worse than it is without night vision in pitch black just going through the jungle. I can see without NVGs so much better when it comes to everything from the environment to AI and players, and that is without touching the contrast sliders, which, by the way, everybody agrees the contrast slider needs to be taken out of the game so people can't cheese nighttime. Second thing is faction-based uniforms. I really need more than just the armbands to make enemies and faction members look different and for me to be able to tell them apart. Right now, it's still very difficult for me. At nighttime, it is actually perfect. The armbands work very well during nighttime, with now the shine or the luminescence. I hope I said that right. So at nighttime, very easy to spot, easy to see. It's been helpful. I actually feel confident now with teammates only during nighttime, but during the day, I still can't see them at all. Armbands are not enough. I need more, and faction-based uniforms, which are slightly different and themed for each faction, would make everything way easier when it comes to group PvP. Now, I'm not saying they need to be something ridiculous and one faction is all black, one is all red, and one is all yellow. Of course not. They can still be in line with military and tactical uniforms, but they need some sort of difference to them so everybody and all the factions are easily told apart during PvP scenarios. Another thing I really need them to add to help with the same problem is player positions to the compass. They have the compass at the top of the screen, which is great and very useful, and I think they can utilize it more, especially in the area of helping identify teammates. All they need to do is take those blue squares you have on the map that show you the teammates' location and put them up into the compass so we can see our teammates teammates through that compass. And they can show up on the compass at the same distance that you get the radio comm that there are friendlies nearby. And just that in itself would help tremendously in telling apart enemies from teammates and making sure you are not about to spray down your friend. Next thing, they need to add sliding. I'm not talking about like sliding where you just run and slide. I don't care about that, but they need to add a form of going down hills and certain inclines. Right now, you just basically slide at max speeds and break your legs or die, mostly die. So I hope they can figure out a way to let us slide down these hills so we can go down certain hills and inclines without killing ourselves. It would help a lot with traversing the island and exploring the world. Next thing is get rid of all of the vendor limits. Vendor limits are the worst idea I've ever seen implemented in a video game. You spend all of this time and put all of this effort into progressing into the game, and you do these quests to then get rewarded with an item. There's only 2 of this item that you can buy, which is fine, rare items, but now not only there's 2 of it, there's 2 not just for you, it's for your entire faction. And now in order to get this item, like even a bigger nerd than we all already are, you have to sit there and wait for it to refresh so you can snipe it from the 6 other Omega nerds that are doing the same shit. I don't want to have to do that and have to snipe something that is supposed to be a reward for my effort and my progress into the game. Please get rid of faction-wide vendor limits completely. When it comes to outposts are really awesome. They are great. They do exactly what they're supposed to and introduce tons of PvP. Outposts either need a cooldown, so once you take an outpost, it cannot be attacked again for at least, let's say, half an hour. Or I heard on Clean Stream implementing this frontline mechanic where basically you cannot take an outpost over unless you take 2 of the outposts that are deeper into the map or ahead of these outposts first. So you can't just go to the outpost that is the nearest of your enemy's base. You have to take the outpost the furthest away that they control before you can move your way inwards. And I think that would be really great, and that would take away the whole need of a cooldown I just mentioned completely, when you can have some sort of order to outposts being taken. Now, even though they have done a tremendous job with adding more loot and more containers to the game, I've been actually looting a lot and finding a bunch of stuff. It is way better than I originally thought it was in my thoughts and impressions video. So honestly, it's not as much of a need as I thought it was when I made that video, but there are still some smaller locations that have nothing except a static spawn for a chocolate bar. And I think these locations need some sort of lootable container and an extra in-world spawn for maybe an attachment or a gun, and that would just make this whole looting and exploring experience pretty much 10 out of 10. Well, they also need to add some really high valuables that would give you that super kick of happiness and then dread that you need to get this back to your stash and not die with it. With that, I think looting in Grayzone Warfare will be pretty much great. And the final thing for now is that with this world and these outposts that now we can go around and explore and we can just walk without taking heli rides, I think we need a little bit more stamina. It can get a little bit tedious to be running around with the amount of stamina you get right now. It can be a little bit annoying. Not much. It's only in certain situations where you're trying to rush to a certain location to prevent an outpost being taken or something like that. It just feels in certain situations that stamina is not enough and it depletes too quickly and makes exploring a little bit less fun than I think it is if I could just run a little bit at max sprint longer. And alongside with that, I think increasing arm stamina for aiming would also be very nice. I feel like it depletes a bit too fast when you hold your breath, so having more so I can aim properly and be accurate would be very nice. All right, that is everything that I for now think Grayzone Warfare requires to level up a little bit more. Let me know what all of you think about these ideas, and if you think they would make the game better, share your ideas for what you think Grayzone needs and should implement to make the game better. And also let me know how you like this entire video, period. And if you did like the video, please consider liking it. And like I said before, hitting that subscribe button. We are very close to 1,000 subs. But apart from that, that will be it for this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.
虜になってしまえばきっとこの夏は充実するのも